it was confined to the Hetra Tantra, the rituals, pujas, and all other things related to temple. So the basic texts of Tantra, they are also called Nigamas, Samhitas, Agamas, and they are also called Samhitas and Agamas. That is Shaiva Tantras, Samhitas and Agamas, 3 names. Shaiva Tantra, Vaishnava Tantra, Shakteya Tantra. They are the basic texts. Shaiva Agama, Vaishnava Agama, Shakteya Agama, Vaishnava Tantra, Vaishnava Agama, Vaishnava Samhita. All these words, they are related to Tantra also. So Tantra literature is also authoritative. Vedic literature is also authoritative in our tradition. Tantra tradition is also very important. Vedic tradition is also very important. So these 2 traditions have a parallel development in our ancient history till Sri Shankara, and after Sri Shankara, they both have had a synthesis. They both synthesized, they both combined it together, and now we get the tradition of the admixture, the synthesis of both these traditions in the present time. So there also the word Agama Nigama is seen. This word Agama Nigama, they mean Veda also. Agama and Nigama, they mean Veda also. This is how, in general, in a very general way, the Vedic Tantric traditions, our Kundalini, Shakti, our all these things are connected with the Tantra tradition more. And it has a very, very rich literature. Now, both have been synthesized, and you can, though synthesis has taken place, you can see the basic principles in separately also, if you examine them carefully. So this is how the true traditions, India's rich true traditions, have developed from earlier times, and they are influencing all our thoughts, all our branches of knowledge, philosophy, literature, art, music, everything. These 2 traditions are very much influencing from our ancient days, even now. And again, after some classes of Natyasastram, I will introduce the great personality Abhinavagupta to you, a great scholar who has written Abhinavagupta, who has written commentary on Natyasastra, the whole text, in 10th century AD. Abhinavagupta, great scholar from Kashmir. You know, Kashmir, though it is a place of many difficulties, many confusions now, in the 8th, 9th, 10th centuries, or 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, etc. 3 or 4 or 5 centuries in the middle period, Kashmir was a rich area of literature, philosophy, and other branches of thought. Abhinavagupta, he had his birth in Kashmir with a long tradition of philosophy, and Abhinavagupta practiced, or Abhinavagupta followed one of the Shaiva Tantra. Now you are getting knowledge of these things. Shaiva Tantra, Vaishnava Tantra, Shakteya Tantra, 3. In this Shaiva Tantra itself has many branches in India, in Kashmir, in South India, separate Shaiva philosophies, Shaiva Tantra. Abhinavagupta was the representative of Shaiva Tantra of Kashmir. A very, very great philosopher of 10th century AD. His commentary on Natyasastram, Abhinavabharati, is very, very, very authoritative and famous. And this whole Abhinavabharati commentary is centered on his philosophy of Shaiva, Kashmir Shaivism. We call it Kashmir Shaivism. Kashmir Shaivism. There are 3 or 4 separate branches in Kashmir Shaivism itself. 3 or 4 main branches in Kashmir Shaivism itself. And Abhinavagupta was representing Pratyabhijna philosophy of Kashmir Shaivism. Pratyabhijna. Abhijna means knowledge. Pratyabhijna means recognitive knowledge. Knowledge of recognition. Pratyabhijna. That is equal to the realization of Brahma. We have the whole energy, world energy, the whole energy that is personified as Shiva in Shaiva Tantra. And we have all the energy within us. Once we practice the methods for realizing this energy in a proper way, we can recognize our energy, our power within us. That is what they call recognition. Already there is there, but we are not aware that the power energy is within us. We are in such a condition now. Already each and every personality has this energy, this superpower, divine power, energy in all of you, all of us. But we are not aware, we are not recognizing that. We think that we are limited. We are very small, we have only many limitations. But once you know that the whole world energy is, the whole power is within us, and when you do hard practices and follow the texts, the ideas, learn the ideas and ideas in the text related to such a text, and then hard practice. By that you can realize that you are not limited, your energy or power is not limited, you have unlimited energy, unlimited power. That is how we find people with superhuman powers, superhuman abilities in our life itself, in our daily life itself. Swami Vivekananda or Mahatma Gandhi or great personalities. They are human beings themselves, but they realize the innate power in them and they try hard to realize it and to recognize it and realize it. And once they recognize and realize it, they become their whole, they become the energy of the universe itself. Then they can do wonderful things. That is how Swami Vivekananda or Mahatma Gandhi or such other great personalities could work and do wonders for the society, for the humanity. That we can also do if we try. That is this is the same thing Sri Shankara has explained in Advaita Vedanta. Advaita, Brahma means universal energy and the self means individual. Actually, the self is Brahma itself, but we are not aware that the self is Brahma. So we feel that we are all unlimited. We cannot do anything. We are limited human beings. But once you study the scriptures, high texts of Vedanta from gurus, and practice the methodology with all effort, then you can know that, oh, I am the world energy itself, I am the universal energy itself. Then you can do unlimited things. You become from the limited position, you rise to the unlimited position. So you become, your self becomes the universal soul. That is how wonders are being done by human beings like all of us, or like you, or like all of us, if they have a will and a wish and they hard work. So that is so aham, that universal energy is the energy in ourselves. So aham. This is in another way treated in Kashmir Shaivism as pratyabhijna. We recognize our energy. So Abhinav Gupta is a follower of this Shaiva Tantra philosophy. So I will introduce it when we come to Natyasastram again, because without the interpretation of Abhinav Gupta, without the Abhinava Bharati, without the commentary of Abhinav Gupta on Natyasastram, we cannot understand anything related to Natyasastram. We will come it later. So Tantra Veda, two traditions, very important traditions. In Tantra, Shaiva, Vaishnava, Shakya, basically. Then in the last class, I introduced Shankaracharya, three more traditions in Tantra, God-centered. Ganapati, Ganapatim, Kaumaram, Kumara Subramanya, God Subramanya, Kaumaram, then Saurya, God Surya. Worship of God Surya, worship of God Subramanya, worship of God Ganapati. So 3 plus 3, 6. Shanmata, 6 systems of Tantra. Shanmata, 6. 3 plus 3. In the time of Shankara. Then after so many centuries, now there are so many other gods and so many other Tantra traditions also has emerged. Like Shakti itself, Shakti herself, the concept of Shakti, it was female goddess in general, and the concept of Shakti herself has been now developed in many ways. Shakti in a very pious, very beautiful in very pious form, Mangala form, Chakri in the fierce form, Durga, Chakri in the fierce form as Durga, or Mahishasuramardini, Durga, etc. Chakri in a very pleasing form. Then Saraswati, female goddess, as the goddess of Vidya, Saraswati. So many development of female concept itself, so many development of Shiva concept itself, so many development of Vishnu concept itself. Then some concepts are being lost in due course, and new god concepts come, like Shasta, who is very popular now. Like new popular gods come. Some concepts are being neglected in course of time. This happen, and when new gods come, new tantra traditions come. So this is the way these two traditions are working, are existing, are continuing in our tradition even now. These are all very important things that will be of great use to you. Then again, coming to the Vedic tradition, we have 4 classes of texts in the Vedic tradition, mainly Samhitas, Brahmana texts, Aranyaka texts, and Upanishads. Today I have given some notes in the Natyasastram. Samhita means collection. Samhita means collection. Collection means the mantras of all the Vedas, 4. Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda.
Acha, one minute. Hello.
Yes. Yes.
കുറച്ചൊന്ന് ഡിസ്റ്റൻസിലിരിക്കുക, ഒരു വോയിസിൽ ഒരു ഡിസ്റ്റർബൻസ് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. കുറച്ചൊന്ന് ബാക്കിലേക്ക് ഇരുന്നാൽ മതി. ഓക്കെ, ബെറ്റർ ആണ്.
There are 4 Vedas: Rigveda, Yajurveda, Veda, Atharvaveda. These Vedas are called Samhitas. Samhita means collection. The historical knowledge says that all the mantras of all the Vedas, all the 4 Vedas, all the mantras of all the 4 Vedas were written by great rishis, and they were existing in an admixture form. They were existing in a mixed form. Now, you know that there is the tradition that the Vedic mantras are divine. That is another tradition. That is a belief-oriented tradition. They are divine. They are created by God Brahma, and in the beginning of every creation, they are descended to the rishis. They are given to the rishis by God Brahma. It is only it is a tradition, that belief-oriented tradition by which the authority of Veda is stressed. Actually, in our present scientific world, we cannot at all ascribe divinity to this. We can only say that they were written, they were originated in the whole social social imagination, and many rishis in many times, they wrote this, they composed this, they created these mantras, and they were existing there. Vast collection of mantras. I told you yesterday in the previous class that Rig Veda itself contains 10,000 and more mantras. That is the largest Veda. Other Vedas do not contain so much number. So Rig Veda is considered as the first Veda, most important Veda, the Veda which has more very knowledge, very branches of knowledge in it. Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda are not so large, but they also contain thousands of mantras. So it is believed that these mantras were composed by different rishis, and in a context, in the history, in the course of time, all the mantras were collected and they were codified, collected, and they were, in the present terminology, we can say that they were compiled and edited. They were compiled and edited into 4 Vedas. Categorized, compiled, categorized, and edited. Some principle of categorizing and some principle of editing. Such and such mantras, 10,000 and more mantras were collected, which have a common feature, homogeneous character. They were collected and edited as Rig Veda. Another type of mantras that were existing at that time, they were collected and edited as Yajurveda. Still another mantras, collection of mantras were codified, compiled, and edited as Samaveda. Still another class of mantras as Atharva Veda. So all these things happen in history in course of time, in the intellectual field. Great people of genius, they do such things. And it is believed that, though historical proof we cannot clearly show, it is believed that the great legendary figure Vyasa, was the personality who compiled and edited these mantras those were written by many rishis in many places in India, in the long history, in many periods. They were collected and edited into 4 Vedas by Vyasa. Vyasa, the word itself means he has edited the Vedas. Vivyasa means separated, compiled, separated, and edited. Vyasikuga, separate, to make separate. Vivyasa, compiled, collected, and separated. That means edited. Vivyasa Vedan. For the first time, the Vedas were collected, separated, and edited. That is why Vyasa is called by the name Vyasa. Vyasa is famous by the name Vyasa. Vivyasa, that's a Sanskrit word, collected, codified, and separated. Which were collected, codified, and separated? The mantras. How collected, codified, and separated according to some classification as 4 Vedas. So Vivyasa Vedan Iti Vyasa. Vyasa got that name because he did the historic work thousands of years ago for the first time, editing, collecting, codifying, collecting, and editing the 4 Vedas. Vivyasa Vedan Iti Vyasa. Original name of Vyasa is not Vyasa. He is famous in many names. Krishna. Sometimes Vyasa is famous by the Krishna. Then Dvaipayana, born in the Dweep. In many other names Vyasa has, but he got the name Vyasa after he has edited, codified, and edited the 4 Vedas. Now Vyasa, a great personality in our ancient history who has edited the 4 Vedas, the 18 Puranas. The authorship of the 18 Puranas is attributed to Vyasa. There also, he may not be the author. He may have done some kind of great work like codifying and editing 18 main Puranas. Then the author of Mahabharata, the legendary Itihasa work. Then the author of Bhagavata, another legendary work. Then even the author of the basic text on Vedanta, Brahma Sutra, which is the base for the Vedanta philosophy, which Sri Shankara commented later. So all these works, all these branches of knowledge were mastered, or he contributed to all these branches of knowledge. There's a great figure, Vyasa. So he codified, separated and edited the Veda mantras into 4 Vedas, 18 Puranas. Authorship of 18 Puranas is attributed to him. Great work Mahabharata, another great work Bhagavata, which is very popular in our culture. Then the basic text of Vedanta philosophy, which is Brahma Sutra, or it is also called Badarayana Sutra. Badarayana Vyasa. Another name of Vyasa is Badarayana. Krishna. He is famous sometimes as Krishna. He is famous sometimes as Dvaipayana, related to his birth in a Dweep. Sometimes he is famous as Badarayana. Badarayana Vyasa. Then Vyasa. Vyasa, he might have got the title after editing the 4 Vedas, which was his great, most important contribution. So, Vedas have a history before Samhitas were formed. That is what I am trying to explain to you. Before these collections of Vedas, 4 Vedas were formulated. Before that, there was a period for Vedas which is called mantra period. There were mantras of different kinds, written by or created by many rishis at different places, in different periods, in different contexts. So that is what we call mantra period. After that, as I have now explained, we have the Samhita period. They were collected, they were codified and separated. Second stage. Now we get Samhitas only, because after collection, edition, there is no relevance to mantras. Whatever, whichever mantras were existing, Vyasa might have collected, codified, and edited. The same thing we will come to Bharada's Natyasastra also. Bharada's Natyasastra is an edition in this, like this, from very many generations, from many centuries before Bharata, there was a great tradition of Natya and different ideas related to Natya, which were for the first time codified and even in a text edited. We can use the modern terminology, edited as a text of Natyasastra, that we will come. So there also this principle, this very important. And also when I come to the point, I will explain that there was two traditions of Natyasastra, one having 6,000 verses, and one having 12,000 verses. Shade Sahasri, Natyasastra. Natyasastra having 6,000 verses. Dwadasha Sahasri, Natyasastra having 12,000 verses. Two traditions. Now we get only the short version, 6,000, not the 12,000. So addition would have come there. A text of vast nature, big nature, must have existed, and it must have been edited later. So all these things happen. So we must understand all these things in a very modern way, using the terminology, tools of what now things are going on. Now editing is going on in many ways. Editing the text of Mahatma Gandhi, editing the text of Vivekananda, all things happen even now. Saying similar works might have done in the previous ages also. So mantra samhita. Mantra, the earlier stage, when all the mantras the composition or creation or writing of mantras, that itself might have taken thousands of years, because they were in many periods, in many places of India, by many generations of rishis, in many periods. In a historic context, Vyasa, the great personality, did a great work of collecting and editing, separately editing them into 4 Vedas. So mantra period, then Samhita. After that, we have again 3 classes of texts in the Vedic tradition, which are Brahmana texts, Aranyaka texts, and Upanishadic texts. Brahmana texts, Aranyaka texts, and Upanishadic texts. Brahmanas, they are a class of texts related to each Vedas. There are many number of texts called Brahmanas related to Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. They contain both prose versions and verse versions, prose passages and verse passages, which are mainly concentrating on the ritual aspects, Vedic ritual aspects, mainly concentrating on the Vedic ritual aspects, like yagas, how to perform yagas of many kinds, what is the purpose of performing yagas, etc. What are the methodologies for performing, who are to participate in the yagas, etc. All these things related to different Vedas, they were collected and preserved in the text called Brahmana text. The names like Shatapatha Brahmana. The biggest Brahmana we get is Shatapatha Brahmana. The name itself shows that it has Shata, 100, Patha, paths. Shata, Patha, 100 chapters or 100 paths. That means it has the biggest one. Shatapatha Brahmana, Aitareya Brahmana, Kaushidagi Brahmana. These are all names of rishis who have written mantras also. They are all. Shatapatha is not the name of rishi, but all others. Aitareya Brahmana, Kaushidagi Brahmana. All these are related to rishis also. So, after mantras and samhitas, these Brahmana texts were written. Or if you believe in the divine concept, okay, I explained that it is belief oriented only, but they were created. Then we cannot say that they were written, they were created. Vedas were not written, Vedas were created, or they already they exist in the universe, and in the course of each cycle of creation, the rishis get the revelation of the Vedas. That is the traditional belief. Other belief is that they were composed. So Brahmanas were written, Brahmana texts were written to preserve or to describe the Vedic ritual aspects. Vedic ritual aspects. That is what we called Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda, the ritual philosophy, the philosophy of rituals. Karma Kanda. Kanda means that particular phase, that particular part, that particular chapter. The ritualistic phase, ritualistic part of Vedic tradition. Ritualistic phase or ritualistic part of Vedic tradition, yagas. To do a great yaga, there are references to yagas to be performed in 1 day, 12 days, then many days, many months, and even many years. Some descriptions may be exaggerations, but even now, some important yagas are performed. Agni yaga, Agnishtoma, 12 days. Soma yaga, 7 days. Then some yagas to be done only in 1 day. So they existed there and even now performed in many ways all over in India. In Kerala also, there are contexts, you know, the context that such and such yaga is going to be performed of many kinds. So these Brahmana texts contain the ritualistic Karma Kanda portion, Karma Kanda interpretation of Vedic tradition. It is very important. How this become important, that is very interesting. In all our thoughts, all these things have been having their influence, and sometimes conflicts of many kinds, sometimes interfusion of many kinds. Very, very interesting to know, to learn all these things. You see, after Brahmana texts, we have the class of texts called Aranyakas. The word itself means that it is related to Aranya. Aranya means forest. So very clear, text to be studied or learned or practiced in the forest. It's a very, very great thing in the culture of India, in the culture of the whole world. How very interesting, how very unique, how very important. Shifting our whole thought from the village, town, oriented atmosphere to the calm, cool, serene, pure, pristine forest atmosphere. It's a very great thing. Now we will be, sometimes we have the experience. In our daily life, we are always centered with our flat, with our house, with our university, with our this college, with our this. You go to a picnic or an excursion to a hill place. What experience of peace and happiness we will feel? Abandoning all the things of the village or town, we will be in a very serene, calm, cool atmosphere. So this Aranya culture, slowly our great rishis, slowly their thought, they shifted their thoughts, their thinking, that the ultimate calmness, peace of mind, ultimate final, the purity, the calmness of mind, the concentration we can get not in the villages, village life or life in the towns, but we have to shift ourselves to the forest. That is the Aranya culture. There we come across with the concepts of Rishi, concepts of ashrama. The other is palace with all facilities for all the happiness of all indriyas. Here, what is the concept? Abandoning everything. Sannyasa, the concept of sannyasa, the concept of tapas, the concept of mental and physical concentration, the concept of tapas. There only small hermitages they build and they live in, not great palaces of rich materials, only hermitages. And they live with the environment, friendly with the environment, with the birds, animals, all things around them. They are all equal. You see, the whole world culture, the whole world tradition, this particular Aranya, Ashrama, Rishi, Sannyasa concept is not found in the whole world civilization other than in India. That is why foreigners or Westerners are even now coming attracted to our great tradition of Aranyakas and Upanishads, because there only we can meet with final solace, final happiness, final peace of mind. It is not easy because we have to indulge in our daily life only after many years of indulging in our household life. Only we can not for all those who want to reach that, we can reach Brahmacharyam, Garhasthyam, then Vanaprastham. Vanaprastham is that Vanam, Prastham, to move, travel, move to the forest. Vanaprastham. Then final Sannyasam, abandoning our life, body itself, or our breath. Swachhanda Maranam, etc. we call it. We leave our breath to the other world and we leave from this world. It is. So this is the final and ultimate phase of our civilization, our culture, which is the only treasure, which is only found in the culture of India. Aranya, ashrama, tapas, renunciation, sannyasa, all these things. So from the chaos, from the busy schedules of the daily life, village life, town life, slowly our philosophy, our thinking, our vision of thought, slowly it was shifted to forest, aranya, to be studied, to be practiced in the forest, to live and to be studied in the forest. Great tradition. No other country in the world has preserved such a tradition. That is why India is being attracted by great scholars and great philosophers all over the world. So now we come to the Aranyaka tradition. That class of texts were written in the forest. Many texts. So another very important factor in this change of outlook is that slowly we are, the rishis or the great thinkers are shifting their philosophy from Karmakanda to Jnanakanda, from the ritualistic atmosphere to the spiritualistic atmosphere. In Jnanakanda, there is no place for karma. Even if they do karma, that karma should be without the thinking of the result or fruit. Nishkama, we call it. Bhagavad Gita comes there. Karma should be nishkama. If it is sagama, with any purpose in our mind, it is limited. If it is nishkama, devoid of any, what you do your duty itself, result may come or not. Now these are all states of mind that are to be developed with much difficulty. Don't think that this is very easy. But there are models for all these things. There are principles for all these things. There are methodologies for all these things. And once you adopt the principles, adopt the methodologies, adopt the ideals, and strive to travel through the path, you can also realize your eternity, your personality, your universality, and you can do wonderful things. That is why they are all being prescribed. Don't think that they are very easy, but don't think that they are not related to we people. They are related to each and everyone, like we are, like you are, like we are. So the most important thing is that this is the Vedic tradition. From the Karma Kanda, the whole thought was shifted to Jnana Kanda. From the village, town-oriented culture, it was shifted to calm, quiet, universe-friendly, eco-friendly, pure, serene forest culture. Then the ashramas, hills, valleys, rivers, animals, birds, music of birds, animals friendly with our friends, friendly with our people. Very beautiful, very calm, very serene. This is the Aranyaka tradition. Aranyaka texts. Third, Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas. Then the culmination, the final stage of this thought is represented in the text called Upanishads. The final stage of this second Jnanakanda. Beginning of Jnanakanda, initial thoughts of Jnanakanda in Aranyakas, and final thoughts of Jnanakanda in the Upanishads. There we meet with the teachings of the highest reality, what I explained earlier, Brahman, and the relation between man and Brahman. Brahman means universal energy, universal strength, universal energy, the power, universal power, beyond even gods. In the previous class, I explained to you that in the period of Corona, it has been proven that even gods are not relevant. But some power beyond the gods is relevant because this nature is controlling we all, the world today. We not gods even. That is the energy, world energy, universal power. To understand that and to realize that and to find that, realize that in our own inner self, we will grow, we will rise to that level of universal thought and universal energy. Then for such a person, they benefit in two ways. One, they will acquire the energy, unlimited energy, and they can make use of that for wonderful development in whichever field they want, and in another way for the service of the society. In the other way, the positive traits like universal brotherhood, compassion to all, universal brotherhood, then human feeling of oneness, belief in humanity, belief in good qualities, all these things also we can develop. So when we reach Upanishads, this is the final stage of the culmination of the Jnana-kanda. So Karma-kanda, Jnana-kanda, these two are even now very strong, and in many contexts we can experience some difference of opinions among the scholars and philosophers whether Karma-kanda is more important or Jnana-kanda, but it is almost proved beyond doubt that Jnana-kanda is the final goal, should be the final goal, and Karma-kanda is only secondary to that. And that philosophy was further developed by Shankaracharya, the basic principles of which are found in the basic Upanishads. Not all the Upanishads. Now we have the list of the compilation of 108 Upanishads, or we get more than 200 Upanishads. All the Upanishads are not basic Upanishads. 10 or 13 basic Upanishads are there, which are commented by Shankaracharya, on which Shankaracharya, great Shankaracharya, has written commentary. Those Upanishads are the basic Upanishads. The other Upanishads were written later on different other aspects with the name Upanishad only. So, in these Upanishads, we reach the final phase of our philosophy, which is Jnana-kanda. So, the word Upanishads itself means that Upa is a word. Upa means near. Ni means down. Sat means to sit. So the word means Upa near, Ni down, Sat sit. Sitting down near. Upanishad. The word means sitting down near. Naturally, anxiety comes, food to sit. Near to whom? Then comes the disciple should sit near down near the Guru. The disciple should sit near the Guru, preceptor. Now you see, even the next other classes I will explain, even the word teacher and student will not convey such a great vision which the Guru Shishya, words Guru Shishya, you can translate it in English as preceptor and disciple. Now Guru imparts to Shishya not only the mere knowledge, but a life vision, a culture, a character, all those things. You will be having the experience of all these things, particularly those who are in performing field and other field, because the Guru, that will be our God, because we have a Guru, then all the time we are with the Guru, and we are getting not only the knowledge of the particular art form, but the whole vision of life, the vision of world. Totally, we are changed with that contact with or teaching under the Guru. So this is Upanishads. Upanishad, sitting down near the Guru. Shishya should sit down near the Guru with all devotion and interest in acquiring great knowledge, with a firm mind, with great determination power. Then the Guru will impart him or her the knowledge. That is the ultimate philosophy, ultimate knowledge, Jnanakanda. So these are the four classes of texts, mainly the four classes of texts in Vedic literature: Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishads. Now we will come to these points again. Because in all contexts of deliberation in the different topics related to Natyasastram or any other topics related to our knowledge systems, directly or indirectly, all these things come. And with the knowledge of all these things only, we can have a correct, realistic, holistic concept of the particular branch of knowledge that we are acquiring or proceeding, that we will come in the coming classes. Thank you very much all. If any doubt that you have, immediately you can now interact. Thank you. Okay.
ഉണ്ണികൃഷ്ണൻ ചെറുതായിട്ട് ബ്രേക്ക് ആവുന്നുണ്ട്, പറഞ്ഞോളൂ.